What's up everybody and how are ya? Welcome back to the Arya Habibi Show, and thank you again to everyone who's been tuning in week after week, subscribing, sharing. I really do appreciate it. If you missed last week's video on The Simpsons, I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there because it was all about Simpsons predictions and it might trip you out. I apologize that this video took a little bit longer than usual to post, but I bought The Last of Us Part 2 and I've been hooked. Okay, I finally beat it, so I'm back to life. But holy crap, that video game was absolutely amazing. It looked amazing, it played amazing, and the characters were so well done. And that actually is what led me to this week's episode, because you know what? Video game characters are such a big part of everyday life. Some of you might not realize it, but you've actually grown up with certain video game characters and they're iconic in their own way, and we see them everywhere, and it's like, even my grandma knows some of these video game characters and she doesn't even know how to turn her own TV on, to be honest. So this week we're going to take a look at some of the most iconic video game characters of all time, because you know what? Video games are such a giant medium at this point, and they're just getting bigger and bigger. So let's take a look at a few of the biggest video game characters of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, especially if I've missed a video game character, because I can always do a secondary video if this one gets really popular, and I'll follow up with some more of video game characters that are really iconic. But now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the video. Start wipe.
Here comes a new challenger!
Let's go start with a fan favorite by the name of Pikachu. Developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo, the Pokemon series began in Japan in 1996 and features several species of creatures called Pokemon that players are encouraged to capture, train, and use to battle other players' Pokemon or interact with the game's world. Artist Atsuko Nishida is credited as the main person behind Pikachu's design, which was later finalized by artist Ken Sugimori. According to series producer Satoshi Tajiri, the name is derived from a combination of two Japanese sounds: Pika, a sound an electric spark makes, and Chu, a sound a mouse makes. Have you guys ever heard a mouse make the sound Chu? Like, what is the mouse, sneezing or something? Like, I'm sorry, but that's crazy. Despite its name's origins, however, Nishida based Pikachu's Generation 1 design, especially its cheeks, on squirrels. Developer Junichi Masuda noted Pikachu's name as one of the most difficult to create due to an effort to make it appealing to both Japanese and American audiences. Standing at 40 centimeters tall, Pikachu was created as the first electric-type Pokemon, with its design intended to revolve around the concept of electricity. Initially, both Pikachu and the Pokemon Clefairy were chosen to be the lead characters for the franchise merchandising. However, with the production of the animated series, Pikachu was chosen as the primary mascot in an attempt to appeal to female viewers and their mothers, because it was believed that Pikachu presented the image of a recognizable, intimate pet to children. Wait a second. Female viewers and their mothers? So you're trying to tell me that the Pokemon creators are down with the MILFs? Okay, I'm fine with that. Its color was also a deciding factor, as yellow is a primary color and is easier for children to recognize from a distance, and with consideration to the fact that the only other competing yellow mascot at the time was Winnie the Pooh. That's actually why the Simpsons are yellow. Just a quick non-video game fact: the Simpsons are actually yellow because of that exact reason, because when you were flipping through channels and you would see them as being yellow, it just stood out at the time. Also, if you guys haven't already, have you guys seen the girl who actually does the Pikachu voice? It's absolutely amazing to just see her do it, and she kind of reminds me of Pikachu herself.
大谷郁恵さん、
はい。
はじめまして。
よろしくお願いします。はじめまして。
ピカチュウの声もするんですよ。ピカチュウ、ちょっと言っていただけます？
ピカチュウ。今ちょっと似てなかったかも。
いや、似てないと思う。本人ですからね。可愛いですね。本編お願いいたします。
ピカピカ。
いや、これや。
Here comes a new challenger!
Up next, we have Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is a series of video games featuring the adventures of a gorilla character named Donkey Kong, conceived by Shigeru Miyamoto in 1981. Donkey Kong first made his appearance in the 1981 arcade machine hit called Donkey Kong, which also featured a little guy called Jumpman, which we'll talk about a little bit later. After the first Donkey Kong was released, Universal Studios sued Nintendo, alleging that the video game was a trademark infringement of King Kong, the plot and characters of which Universal claimed for their own. In the case Universal City Studios Incorporated versus Nintendo Company Limited, a United States District Court ruled that Universal had acted in bad faith and it had no right over the name King Kong or the characters and story. The court further held that there was no possibility for consumers to confuse Nintendo's gaming characters with King Kong films and their characters. The case was an enormous victory for Nintendo, which was still a newcomer to the US market. The case established the company as a major player in the industry and arguably gave the company the confidence that it could compete with the giants of American media. Since then, Donkey Kong has appeared in multiple games, spin-offs, and even had his own TV show. I don't know if you remember the TV show, it was not very good.
I don't get it.
The success of the Donkey Kong series has resulted in Guinness World Records awarding the series with 7 world records in the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition 2008. The records include first use of visual storytelling in a video game for the rudimentary cutscenes featured in the original Donkey Kong arcade game, and most collectible items in a platform game for Donkey Kong 64.
Here comes a new challenger!
Lara Croft. Lara Croft is a fictional character and the main protagonist of the video game franchise Tomb Raider. She is presented as a highly intelligent and athletic English archaeologist who ventures into ancient tombs and hazardous ruins around the world. Created by a team at British developer Core Design that included Toby Gard, the first character appeared in the video game Tomb Raider in 1996. Inspired by strong female icons, Gard designed Lara Croft to counter stereotypical female characters. He initially envisioned a male lead character with a whip and a hat. Core Design co-founder Jeremy Smith characterized the design as a derivative of Indiana Jones and asked for more originality. Gard decided that a female character would work better from a design standpoint. He also cited Virtua Fighter as an influence. Gard noticed that while watching people play the game, players selected one of the 2 available female characters in the game almost every match he saw. He settled on a tough South American woman with a braid named Laura Cruz. Management preferred a more UK-friendly name, and Lara Croft was selected. Often cited as a catalyst for more female video game characters, Lara Croft has been in numerous games, books, and movies. She became a sex symbol for video games to come. Lara Croft holds a Guinness World Record as the most recognized female video game character of all time, and even received a star on the Walk of Fame in San Francisco. Since then, Lara Croft has been part of many books, comics, video games, and even portrayed as Angelina Jolie in a Hollywood movie. What a legend.
Here comes a new challenger!
PacMan. PacMan is a maze arcade game developed and released by Namco in 1980. The original Japanese title of PacMan was changed to PacMan for international releases as a preventative measure against defacement of the arcade machines by changing the P to an F. So you're telling me right now that his original name was PacMan and they had to change it to PacMan because they knew people were going to put an F instead of the P in international arcades. I don't even think I need to say it, but that's pretty fucking hilarious. The player controls Pac-Man, who must eat all the dots inside an enclosed maze while avoiding 4 colored ghosts. Eating large flashing dots called energizers causes the ghosts to turn blue, allowing Pac-Man to eat them for bonus points. The development of the game began in early 1979, directed by Toru Iwatani, who wanted to create a game that could appeal to women as well as men, because most video games at the time had themes of war or sports. Although the inspiration for the Pac-Man character was reportedly the image of a pizza with a slice removed, the in-game characters were made to be cute and colorful to appeal to younger players. The original Japanese title of Puckman was derived from the titular character's hockey puck shape. Pac-Man was a widespread critical and commercial success, and it has an enduring commercial and cultural legacy. The game is important and influential, and it is commonly listed as one of the greatest video games of all time. The success of the game led to several sequels, merchandise, and 2 television series, as well as a hit single by Buckner and Garcia titled Pac-Man Fever. And you think about that. This video game actually had a track on the Billboard Hot 100.
'Cause I got Pac-Man fever.
Pac-Man fever!
Driving me crazy.
Driving me crazy! Pac-Man fever!
The Pac-Man video game franchise remains one of the highest grossing and best-selling video game series of all time, generating more than $14 billion in revenue as of 2016 and $43 million in sales combined. The character of Pac-Man is the mascot and flagship icon of Bandai Namco Entertainment and has the highest brand awareness of any video game character in North America. Guinness World Records has awarded the Pac-Man series 8 Guinness World Records, including most successful coin-operated game.
Here comes a new challenger!
Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is a Japanese video game series and media franchise created and owned by Sega. The franchise follows Sonic, a blue hedgehog who battles the evil Dr. Eggman, a mad scientist. In 1990, Sega of Japan president Hayao Nakayama decided Sega needed a flagship series and mascot to compete with Nintendo's Mario series, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Nintendo had recently released Super Mario Bros. 3, at the time the best-selling video game ever. Sega's strategy had been based on porting its successful arcade games to its 16-bit console, the Sega Genesis. However, Nakayama recognized that Sega needed a star character in a game that could demonstrate the power of the Genesis's hardware. An internal contest was held to determine a flagship game and company mascot, with a specific focus on the American audience. Among the various teams working on proposals were artist Naoto Oshima and programmer Yuji Naka. Sonic's color was chosen to match Sega's cobalt blue logo, and his shoes evolved from a design inspired by Michael Jackson's boots. Its success helped Sega become one of the leading video game companies during the 16-bit era of the early 1990s. Sonic the Hedgehog is Sega's flagship franchise and one of the best-selling video game franchises, grossing over $5 billion by 2014 and selling $140 million by 2016. As of today, Sonic has been in dozens of games, had his own TV shows, toys, clothes, and even a blockbuster movie in 2020.
Here comes a new challenger!
Link. Link is the main protagonist of Nintendo's video game series, The Legend of Zelda. He appears in several incarnations over the course of the games and also features in other Nintendo media, including merchandising, comic books, and animated series. He is one of Nintendo's main icons. Through the Legend of Zelda series, Link is depicted as a child, teenager, or young adult in the Hylian race, originating from the fictional land of Hyrule. Link often travels through Hyrule, defeating creatures, evil forces, and the series' primary antagonist, Ganon, while attempting to save Princess Zelda and Hyrule. Link is the soul of a legendary hero that throughout history is reincarnated within a seemingly ordinary boy or man when the need arises for a new reincarnation to defeat the forces of evil. Link has no spoken dialogue in the game series except for his grunts, gasps, and shouts and screams. And that's not including the old school CDI games, which were just, well, take a look.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, this peace is what all true warriors strive for.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
It is written, only Link can defeat Ganon.
Great, I'll grab my stuff.
There is no time. Your sword is enough.
How about a kiss, for luck?
You've got to be kidding.
Let's never talk about that again. The character has been overall well received by critics and was awarded a star on the Walk of Game in 2005, along with its creator, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Here comes a new challenger!
Last but not least, Mario. Mario is a fictional character in the Mario video game franchise owned by Nintendo and created by Japanese video game designer Shigeru Miyamoto. And like, think about that. I've said this Shigeru Miyamoto guy's name how many times in this video? This guy is literally one of the most legendary creators of all time. Acting as the company's mascot, as well as being the protagonist of the series, Mario has appeared in over 200 video games since its creation. And unfortunately, that includes its own CDI series as well, which, don't say I didn't warn you, but take a look.
Ha ha, here's the problem. Too many toasters. You know what they say, all toasters toast toast.
I don't get it.
Depicted as a short, pudgy Italian plumber who resides in the Mushroom Kingdom, his adventures generally center upon rescuing Princess Peach from the Koopa villain Bowser. Mario's fraternal twin brother and sidekick is Luigi. Believe it or not, Mario was not planned to be the mascot. In fact, his first appearance was in the original Donkey Kong game that we spoke about earlier, where he appeared simply as Jumpman, predating the well-known Super Mario Bros. By 4 years. Shigeru Miyamoto created Mario while developing Donkey Kong in an attempt to produce a best-selling video game for Nintendo to attempt to rival PacMan. Originally, Miyamoto wanted to create a game that used the characters Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oil. At the time, however, as Miyamoto was unable to acquire a license to use the characters, he would end up creating an unnamed player character along with Donkey Kong and Lady, who was later known as Pauline. In the early stages of Donkey Kong, the focus of the game was to escape a maze while Mario did not have the ability to jump. However, Miyamoto soon introduced jumping capabilities for the player character, reasoning that if you had a barrel rolling towards you, what would you do? Though the protagonist was unnamed in the Japanese release, he was named Jumpman in the game's English instructions, and Mario in the sales brochure. See, a lot of people think that Jumpman was created by, Drake in Future or even Michael Jordan. The original Jumpman was a little gangster by the name of Mario. He was just trying to jump over some barrels to save his girl. Miyamoto originally named the character Mr. Video, comparing what he intended for the character's appearances in later games to the cameos that Alfred Hitchcock had done within his films. In retrospect, Miyamoto commented that if he had named Mario Mr. Video, Mario likely would have disappeared off the face of the earth. According to a widely circulated story, during the localization of Donkey Kong for American audiences, Nintendo of America's warehouse landlord Mario Segal confronted then-President Minoru Arakawa demanding back rent. Following a heated argument in which the Nintendo employees eventually convinced Segal he would be paid, they opted to name the character in the game Mario after him. Mario's profession was chosen to fit with the game design. Since Donkey Kong takes place on a construction site, Mario was made into a carpenter. And when he appeared again in Mario Brothers, it was decided that he should be a plumber because a lot of the game is situated in underground settings. Due to the graphical limitations of arcade hardware at the time, Miyamoto clothed the character in red overalls and a blue shirt to contrast against each other and the background. A red cap was added to let Miyamoto avoid drawing the character's hairstyle, forehead, and eyebrows, as well as to circumvent the issue of animating his hair as he jumped. To give distinctly human facial features with the limited graphical abilities, Miyamoto drew a large nose and a mustache, which avoided the need to draw a mouth and facial expressions. Today, with more than 600 million units sold worldwide, the Mario franchise is the best-selling video game franchise of all time. Outside of the Super Mario platform series, other Mario genres include the Mario Kart Racing series, sports games such as Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, role-playing games such as Mario & Luigi, Super Mario RPG, and Paper Mario, and educational games such as Mario is Missing, Mario's Time Machine, and Mario Teaches Typing. The franchise has branched into several media, including television shows, films, comics, and licensed merchandise. Mario, you are a legend.
Hey, paisanos, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
Alright, and that's our episode for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys had some fun. If you have not been playing video games for the longest time, I hope this one actually kind of made you guys want to go back into some video games, either play some classic ones or try and pick up some new games. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share this video again with some video game nerds that you guys might know. Like and comment down below if you learned anything new about video games. And once again, I'll be back next week with something else completely random. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arya Habibi. Peace out.